What are the malls of Malaysia doing to actually up their game in terms of connecting and building relationships?
One of the mentality in Asia, with a lot of owners, if I can just put that into perspective, is they have a piece of land and they want to build a mall, right? So they build a mall without engaging the market, understanding the market, and then expecting that the retailers will come. That used to be when you have really very few shopping centers around. But now it's really a competitive play field. So you've got to go out there, dabble into the market, know what you want to build, who you want to build it for, connect with the consumers and even the business community before you even build. And that's what Ben is. You know, really, is it right for this market? Is it not? Just the same as Pavilion. There were a lot of learning curve from the international arena. And I think one of the things that right now you see across US, Europe, they're learning the format of retailing in Asia as well, where we build very integrated developments. And again, we are very, very good in packaging it all together. We have, I mean, they just look at us and say, we have convenience. We pay bills, we have a postal office and everything right under a mall. So that is the format of retailing that we have right now that has served our market very, very well. And the thing is, right now, it's getting very competitive. If you look at the suburban market, how many shopping centers have just opened in the past few months, right? So are we looking at incremental sales for the retailers? Are there more people going to the malls? Well, we go to the mall every weekend. The choice is whether do we go down to a destination mall or do we go down to a neighborhood mall for the sake of, you know, getting our grocery and for convenience. So I think every mall has got to really, really understand the market they serve. Like in Pavilion, I'll give you an example. We are destination, but 70% of our market, they are also locals. They are our bread and butter. They come almost every time. They work around there. They stay around there. And tourists will come few days and then they leave. And then we got to constantly engage the tourist market. That's around 30%. So what we do with the locals as well is to really try and create a lot of experiences where they remember they had a great experience with us and they want to come back. We push in the products, for example, 20% new brands to Malaysia when we first opened. We recently introduced another new precinct. We introduced Tokyo Street. So all this is very, very important because you must understand the lifespan of attractiveness is getting very, very short right now. You know, the kind of sophistication and technology in the car park and everything has become, you know, mandatory for malls to have. So I think it's really about looking at the market and seeing what you need, like services, very personalized services, for example, for Pavilion. Getting their hands on the very unique merchandise, first of its kind, the first to be in Malaysia, well, all the better. To be invited to great social events, that's one of its kind. So these are the kind of experiences that people will want, and they keep coming back for it. So I guess for a suburban market, they really got to look. I mean, someone within the Bangsa that serves that kind of market versus one that is down in Shah Alam, really quite different. And I think this is where, if you're saying it's for family, and with family, we know the educational aspect is very important. So you're hitting it right where it is, and they're going to build a connection with you. They're going to remember you for serving their needs as well as everybody else's. And that once that connection is there, it's much easier to get them back, right? So I think these are the kind of things, the value experiences that one has to build right now and inject into the whole shopping experience.
I think there's always some room that retail can still play a role, particularly in the suburban areas. There's talks even internationally. In the last conference I went, that public space like parks are the new anchors, where you build amphitheaters, all sorts to bring in the attractions. In our case, you know, obviously we don't have the luxury of the space, but we decided to go down the road as education. But I think, you know, the simple question that I would like to ask anyone out who's planning to develop a mall is look at the life cycle of the profile of people living in Malaysia. Track those life cycles and decide which point of life cycle you would like to target and what are their needs. And then you design the entire experience that, you know, the tenants went on to events, marketing, communications, all that, and you speak to that group. I wouldn't imagine filling any more tier one shoppings and trying to compete with the giants that are already so well established today. You know, they will forever be here because they're managed professionally. Obviously, you know, they know they can do better than what I can do. Collectively, they have the resources to hire specialists and consultants. For beginners like us, we don't have the luxury and that kind of resources. We can tap into and learn through them, and keep attending and meeting our people who are in the industries, and we learn through them.